If you like this video, please click on the like button. Comment with the names of the movies you would like us to cover next. Click the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get notified of our latest creations. We cover 100 movies from around the world every day. To advertise with our channel, reach out to us. Our contact information is on our channel page. Now, let's move to the plot of this movie.
In a large pine forest in the American Southeast called Pine Ridge, a feud is ongoing between cattlemen who want to burn the forest for grazing land, and turpentiners, who make their living harvesting pine sap. The cattlemen suspect that the turpentiners are rustling their cattle, not knowing that the man organizing the rustling is Len Parker. Leroy Mason, a cattleman. Arthur Autry is among the cattlemen who believe they should raid the turpentiners and burn them out. Arthur's fair-minded son, Gene Autry. Gene Autry opposes the action, and is in love with Millie Bainham, Betty Bronson, the stepdaughter of the leader of the turpentiners. When Gene warns the turpentiners of the upcoming raid, his good intentions backfire as the turpentiners fight back and his father is wounded. Believing that Gene was fighting against the cattlemen, his father disowns him, and Gene leaves his home. Single quote. 2 years later, Gene returns to Pine Ridge as the star of Colonel Frog Millhouse's Wild West show. Although glad to see Millie again, Gene is distraught to learn that his father is now destitute after his cattle were secretly stolen by Parker. After paying all of his father's bills, Gene learns from Millie that Arthur's cattle have been grazing in a distant meadow. And when Gene investigates, he is captured by 2 of Parker's henchmen. Parker orders his henchmen to replace Arthur's cattle with his own and take the stolen animals to Fox Canyon. Back in town, Frog waits anxiously for Gene's arrival so the show can begin. One of Parker's henchmen tells Frog about Gene being captured. Frog is forced to start the show using a double for Gene. Believing that Gene has escaped, Parker orders his right-hand man, Jeff Galloway, Jack Doherty, to kill him, and Galloway shoots the double. Meanwhile, Gene, who has escaped his captors, arrives back in town and learns about the crime. He tells Sheriff Martin, Henry Hall, to meet him at Arthur's ranch. When he arrives, Gene discovers that his father is dead, and rushing over to the Bainham cabin, Gene finds Millie's stepfather Bayless has also been murdered, because Bayless was bludgeoned with Gene's gun, which Parker's men had stolen. Sheriff Martin arrests Gene for the murder and takes him to jail, believing that Gene will be set free because he is a cattleman. The turpentiners arrive at the jail intending to lynch him. Frog, Martin, and Millie prevent the lynching and Gene escapes. He goes to Parker's office, where he finds a receipt for the sale of his father's cattle. While Gene attempts to take Parker and Galloway to the sheriff, a gun battle between the cattlemen and turpentiners breaks out in the street and Parker, who killed both Arthur and Bayless, gets away. Gene and his fellow entertainers chase after Parker and his men, and while the show people round up the gang, Gene apprehends Parker, who is taken to jail. With the feud now ended, Gene and Millie decide to get married.